The purpose of this video is to show you where you should find your information for class in case you missed class or if you wanted to look at something again. Um, First and foremost, I post announcements when I really need you guys to know something. Um, because I only see you 2 days in a 6-day cycle, this is my only way of communicating with you when you're not in my class. You need to pay attention to the announcements. If you miss something and you just say, "Oh, I didn't see it," that's not an excuse. You are responsible for reading any announcements from any teacher. So I'm going to scroll down a little further. So let's say you missed class. This is going to be your first clue. Now, I don't know if other teachers are doing this. This is just a habit that I created when we were all virtual. And I just like the idea of having a quick look for you guys to see, hey, what are we doing in class? And this is clearly a date range to cover all of the letter days and a couple of different things. We all did the knife skills if you were in class that day. And then the second part of the quesadilla lab is actually doing the quesadilla lab. Now, if you click on this or scroll, you can see it's taking me back through time and you can see which slide you're on. So if you want to get to the most recent one, you always want to go to number 1 because when I create these slides, I always move the most recent one into the number 1 position, so that's what you see. I'm going to scroll down a little further, and here's our marking period 3 folder, which is the marking period that's about to end. So let's go ahead and click that open. And I have subfolders organized for all the units that we've done. So you know that we are in the quesadilla lab. So if you miss time during that date range, you would click this open to see what you're going to do. I want to click the laundry unit open though. So if you're in class, as I've told you, the directions start here page that is always going to be at the top of the subfolder for that unit. If you're in class, you don't need to read it because I'm going to explain to you what all of these activities and items are in the rest of the subfolder. If you miss class, you should click that open. It's going to tell you what you need to do in the rest of the subfolder. It's going to tell you what the objectives are. Hey, why are we doing this unit? It's going to give you instructions and then your actual tasks. I would say that reading the task section is the most important. You're going to watch a Nearpod on the laundry care labels on your clothing. You're going to complete all the activities inside the Nearpod. You're going to complete a puzzle piece on laundry products and when to use them. And you're going to watch a YouTube tutorial on how to do all the steps of laundry. So you should never be wondering, hey, what did I miss? And as I've said in class, you are responsible for content. And laundry obviously is all content because there's no food lab that goes in the laundry unit. But let me go back to, I need to click back out one more section. Let me go to our quesadilla lab folder. So what we did in class, we watched a Screencastify video and a knife skills video from a professional chef. If you missed class, you can watch those. This particular unit, there was nothing for you to submit or do if you missed class that day. But I did give you some information of what we learned about the basic cuts using a chef's knife. Quesadilla recipe in case you want to make it, and then the quesadilla lab assignment itself, which you know you never have to submit anything there because I enter the grades for the quesadilla lab. So you could have just progressed right through there if you missed class and the directions. If there's nothing to turn in, I'm going to say there's nothing for you to submit. Now, does that mean that you don't have to watch these? I have no control over whether you watch them or not, but if I'm putting it in a subfolder, it's because it's information that you need to prepare for the food lab. Now, the next thing we're going to look at, this is my view of Schoology, so it says grade book, but yours is going to say grades. And I'm not going to click on this right now because it's going to open Gradebook and you'll see other people's grades. So I'm going to pause and I am going to show you a screenshot of a grades page and show you the important things that you should recognize on that page. There's a lot of really useful information if you look at your grades page. If you look at the blue arrow, the first blue arrow that says due date, any assignment that has a specific due date, that's where you're going to see what it is. If you look at the blue arrow that says missing assignment, and it's a that little red kind of looks like it's a six-sided, almost looks like a stop sign. That is when a teacher marks an assignment as missing. Typically, I will wait until a due date has passed to mark something as missing, but if I see a lot of assignments missing in my grade book, I mark them missing because I feel like it's easier for you to notice that it's marked missing, and it also records your grade as a 0, which I'm hoping will get your attention. And then the last blue arrow, it says assignment with no submission because it's not due yet. So if it's an assignment and there's just that dashed line, it means that number one, nothing has been submitted, and this particular assignment in the screenshot is simply because it's not due yet. So if you're missing an assignment and it's not marked missing, you're going to have that dashed line. So there's a lot of information on your grades page, and it should never be a mystery what you owe your teacher for any of your classes.